With Equinox from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, the sky isn't the limit. Lease a 2020 Equinox LT front-wheel drive for just $261 a month. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. The Chevy Equinox from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers is a green thumbs up, inside and out. Lease a 2020 Equinox LT front-wheel drive for just $261 a month for 36 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Football is a big deal in this house. So when Maurice was injured, we immediately thought the worst. To see my baby lose his joy hurt.
The DMC, Rehabilitation Institute of Michigan, is here to help athletes get back in the game.
They're like family. It was a long road, but we made it back.
DMC, Rehabilitation Institute of Michigan, a community built on care.
Soccer. Watch it at Detroit's premier soccer bar, the Detroit City Clubhouse. We have domestic and international. Soccer. Enjoy cold beer. Don't forget to pies. The Detroit City Clubhouse. Perfect for birthday parties and corporate events. Detroit City Clubhouse. Detroit's home for soccer.
In Michigan, the future is something we build with our hands and our hearts. So as one of the biggest investors in infrastructure in the state, DTE will spend $2 billion with Michigan companies this year alone, creating thousands of jobs while providing clean, safe, reliable energy, improving lives today, and building an even stronger tomorrow. Because we're all Michiganders. Nothing stands in our way. DTE.
Imaginary lines that lie between us, it's just lies. You see us beyond races and classes. One day we'll all dance and raise glasses. See, we are one. This doesn't have to be a zero-sum game where some lose and some gain. Time, space, distance, it's all relative. Think about it, we're all relatives. No time to build walls. We got bridges to mend. And that's the beauty of us, the beauty of blend.
The Chevy Trax from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers has a sporty, compact design that makes it the perfect SUV for everywhere you like to roll. Lease a 2020 Trax LT front-wheel drive for just $222 a month. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. The Chevy Traverse from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers fits your life with room to grow. Lease a 2020 Traverse LT front-wheel drive for just $279 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Football is a big deal in this house. So when Maurice was injured, we immediately thought the worst. To see my baby lose his joy hurt.
The DMC, Rehabilitation Institute of Michigan, is here to help athletes get back in the game.
They're like family. It was a long road, but we made it back.
DMC, Rehabilitation Institute of Michigan, a community built on care.
When it comes to Michigan's future, DTE is all in for you. So we're giving 2 million masks to frontline workers and 600,000 to small businesses as they reopen, helping over 500,000 families with meals and shelter, and leading a coalition to provide tablets and internet access to 51,000 school children so they can keep learning at home. DTE is all in for you. DTE.
Imaginary lines that lie between us, it's just lies. You see us beyond races and classes. One day we'll all dance and raise glasses. See, we are one. This doesn't have to be a zero-sum game where some lose and some gain. Time, space, distance, it's all relative. Think about it, we're all relatives. No time to build walls. We got bridges to mend. And that's the beauty of us, the beauty of blend.
With Equinox from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, the sky isn't the limit. Lease a 2020 Equinox LT front-wheel drive for just $261 a month. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. The Chevy Equinox from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers is a green thumbs up, inside and out. Lease a 2020 Equinox LT front-wheel drive for just $261 a month for 36 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Football is a big deal in this house. So when Maurice was injured, we immediately thought the worst. To see my baby lose his joy hurt.
The DMC, Rehabilitation Institute of Michigan, is here to help athletes get back in the game.
They're like family. It was a long road, but we made it back.
DMC, Rehabilitation Institute of Michigan, a community built on care.
Soccer. Watch it at Detroit's premier soccer bar, the Detroit City Clubhouse. We have domestic and international soccer. Enjoy cold beer. Don't forget to pies. The Detroit City Clubhouse. Perfect for birthday parties and corporate events. Detroit City Clubhouse. Detroit's home for soccer.
In Michigan, the future is something we build with our hands and our hearts. So as one of the biggest investors in infrastructure in the state, DTE will spend $2 billion with Michigan companies this year alone, creating thousands of jobs while providing clean, safe, reliable energy, improving lives today, and building an even stronger tomorrow. Because we're all Michiganders. Nothing stands in our way. DTE.
Imaginary lines that lie between us, it's just lies. You see us beyond races and classes. One day we'll all dance and raise glasses. See, we are one. This doesn't have to be a zero-sum game where some lose and some gain. Time, space, distance, it's all relative. Think about it. We're all relatives. No time to build walls. We got bridges to mend. And that's the beauty of us, the beauty of blend.
The Chevy Trax from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers has a sporty, compact design that makes it the perfect SUV for everywhere you like to roll. Lease a 2020 Trax LT front-wheel drive for just $222 a month. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. The Chevy Traverse from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers fits your life with room to grow. Lease a 2020 Traverse LT front-wheel drive for just $279 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Football is a big deal in this house. So when Maurice was injured, we immediately thought the worst. To see my baby lose his joy hurt.
The DMC, Rehabilitation Institute of Michigan, is here to help athletes get back in the game.
They're like family. It was a long road, but we made it back.
DMC Rehabilitation Institute of Michigan, a community built on care.
When it comes to Michigan's future, DTE is all in for you. So we're giving 2 million masks to frontline workers and 600,000 to small businesses as they reopen, helping over 500,000 families with meals and shelter, and leading a coalition to provide tablets and internet access to 51,000 school children so they can keep learning at home. DTE is all in for you. DTE.
Imaginary lines that lie between us, it's just lies. You see us beyond races and classes. One day we'll all dance and raise glasses. See, we are one. This doesn't have to be a zero-sum game where some lose and some gain. Time, space, distance, it's all relative. Think about it. We're all relatives. No time to build walls. We got bridges to mend. And that's the beauty of us. The beauty of blend.
Every fire begins with a spark. From the very beginning, women with a passion for our community and a love for the game of soccer have helped build Detroit City Football Club. Supporting DCFC through thick and thin, raising their hands, their scarves, and their voices. But it has always been in support of the men's side, until now. In the summer of 2020, passion takes to the pitch as the women in rouge will represent our city for the very first time. As they take their positions, who will blame them for looking to the stands and missing the 1,000-strong chorus of supporters that has greeted Le Rouge since 2012? It's true, the stadium will be empty, but there is a silver lining. Every fire begins with a spark. Tonight we'll hear history in the making as for the very first time the voices on the pitch tune up to eventually add a whole new register to the harmony that is uniquely DCFC. It's a warm, muggy night here at historic Keyworth Stadium, and it's fitting to get a whole lot hotter for the championship match of the Keyworth Showcase between Midwest United FC and Detroit City FC. As we're just moments away from the opening kick, it will be a high-level match here tonight. When we come back, we'll hear from Detroit City FC head coach Sam Pirani. We'll also get you the 11s, and as always, we will kick it, the championship match, coming up next on your Watch City stream, brought to you by Stroh's.
With Equinox from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, the sky isn't the limit. Lease a 2020 Equinox LT front-wheel drive for just $261 a month. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. The Chevy Equinox from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers is a green thumbs up, inside and out. Lease a 2020 Equinox LT front-wheel drive for just $261 a month for 36 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Football is a big deal in this house. So when Maurice was injured, we immediately thought the worst. To see my baby lose his joy hurt.
The DMC Rehabilitation Institute of Michigan is here to help athletes get back in the game.
They're like family. It was a long road, but we made it back.
DMC Rehabilitation Institute of Michigan, a community built on care.
DTE's natural gas is a lot more than just an energy source. It perks up your mornings and eases you into relaxed evenings. It works both hard and smart. It can help heal the body and transport the mind. And at the end of the day, cleaner, safe, affordable natural gas is there to do more than just dry your clothes. It's a warm hug waiting to happen. DTE.
Imaginary lines that lie between us, it's just lies. You see us beyond races and classes. One day we'll all dance and raise glasses. See, we are one. This doesn't have to be a zero-sum game where some lose and some gain. Time, space, distance, it's all relative. Think about it. We're all relatives. No time to build walls. We got bridges to mend. And that's the beauty of us. The beauty of blend.
Just moments away from the start of the Keyworth Showcase Championship match, Detroit City FC and Midwest United FC. Before we get you the starting 11s, earlier we had an opportunity to catch up with Detroit City FC's women's side manager, Sam Pirani. He had this to say.
Yeah, we're super excited for the weekend. We're looking forward to playing Friday, Sunday matches. Ultimately, the group has created a culture that we're trying to build off of to expand into 2021. But yeah, they're super excited for Sunday. The biggest thing I've seen for us to prepare for Midwest is the females communicating on the field about what they experienced last Friday against Midwest and trying to fine-tune those little things that we can sharpen up so we're prepared. And you know, if it is Midwest United that we're playing, I think we're going to be ready.
Let's take a look at our starting 11s as I welcome in my broadcast partner, John Krieger, Midwest United FC. And John, from what we saw the other night, number 11, Stephanie Stitch Curry. She scored 4 goals. Might want to check her, huh?
And it's going to be difficult to check her tonight because she's going to play off of the last defender. She is very quick. She'll take balls over the top. She is really who the City back four are going to have to key on all night.
Now let's check out tonight's starting 11 for DCFC, brought to you by DMC Sports, the official sports medicine provider of Detroit City FC. And the woman of the match on Friday night, Sydney Bloomquist, you would figure, John, will be a central point of emphasis for both coaches here tonight.
You know, I had a chance to speak with Lewis Robinson from Midwest United, and he said the battle all day is going to be contain Bloomquist and make sure she can't stir the drink. She was directing traffic all through Friday's semifinal match. Look for more of that tonight. She's going to be what sets up the forwards up top in the 4-3-3.
Two distinct game plans for each side, Detroit City FC and Midwest United FC. And, John, you and I were talking before we took to the air here. This is an either-or proposition. One side looking to do one specific thing, the other side looking to do another specific thing. We can't have both.
Well, that's exactly right. Let's take a look at Detroit City FC or Midwest United FC first. First of all, they're going to try to go over the top. The way that they play, the way that they win, is to put an attacker on the last defender or two and time the run with little chip balls over the top. We saw against Livonia City, they had the chance to take the ball out wide to the wings, didn't really take that option very often, just chose to stay through the middle, chip it over to Stitch Curry. On the other side for Detroit City FC, they want to build from the wings. They have good wing players. They have good wing pace. Remember that Sam Pirani, in his original vision for this club, wanted to go with a 3-5-2. so that you could have that wing presence. He's had to go to a 4-3-3, but he's not abandoning the possession wing-based play that we're expecting to see from Detroit City. The problem is that the way midfield play works, it's going to be one or the other. And so whoever controls midfield and can control the tempo that they want to move into the attacking third is going to have the edge in this game. If it's on the ground into the wings, it's City. If it's over the top, it's Midwest United.
And to back that point up, the stretches of dominance we saw from Detroit City against Lansing on Friday night included the wings, focused on the wings. When the wings were running well, Detroit City FC was running well, and there's really no way to deny that.
Not at all, and here's why. Because when the wings are running well, what's going to happen is that the midfield players for Midwest United are going to have to respect those wings. It's going to force them wider. It's going to force them to go out toward the touch lines on both sides. And what that's going to do is create space in the middle, and that's where Bree Rogers gets involved. That's where you have a situation where Lillian Lucas had so much joy through the middle for Detroit City on Friday. They want to stretch that midfield wide because they think that their pace can then be used to beat those midfield players and get into the attacking third.
Detroit City FC will possess first to get things rolling. A very warm evening here at historic Keyworth Stadium, but as we said, it's going to get a lot hotter. This is going to be a very entertaining match. Two high-level teams. And the first 9 minutes of this Watch City broadcast is brought to you by DMC, the official sports medicine provider of Detroit City FC.
You know, you talk about the two high-level teams, and really they are the two highest-level teams, I would say, in the state right now. I think Detroit City FC showed themselves, even as a first-year club, to be right up there with what they're able to do in UWS. But when you talk with Lewis Robinson from Midwest United, he said once this was set on the schedule, this was something that would become the pinnacle of the season. The season is shortened, and so even with the first game of the season between these two sides last week, a win for Midwest United, it was all building toward this match. This was the matchup that Midwest United hoped they would get, and now they have that chance.
Here comes Stitch Curry with a left-footed shot right on frame. Steered away by Gabby Garuder, getting the start tonight for Detroit City. So some action early on from Midwest United FC.
Good poise from Garuder.
That ball sent back in. So Midwest United FC wasting little time going on the attack. There's a shot that's deflected and will bounce out of play.
But you see already Midwest United trying to go over the top. They're trying to test that back line. And that's because they had success doing that last Friday in Grand Rapids. They were able to capitalize on City's fatigue, and Sam Pirani admitted that the fatigue was there, and also some shape that Sam didn't like. The shape along the back line has to be better tonight.
Corner coming up. Midwest United. Service in, punched away by Garuder.
That's a good punch by Garuder. Well claimed in the area.
And now that ball is played out by Detroit City, so throw-in coming up for Midwest United.
Early going Midwest United winning that tempo battle, Neil. DCFC very condensed right now. Remember, Sam Pirani is a coach who wants his team to have possession, and purposeful, intentful possession.
There's a giveaway by Detroit City. Ball played towards the middle. Now on the right side, 1v1. That ball served up towards Garuder. Margaret Berry stood her ground and able to scoop it up.
Margaret Berry's going to be key in this matchup because she is a player that can disrupt those attackers for Midwest United. She's got that little bit of nasty to her, and I really enjoy the way she plays. She's a more physical player. She's not afraid to go in there, those hard 50-50 balls. Not afraid to leave a little bit on her opponent, and you need one of those. Every side needs one of those players that'll just go in and remind you she's there, get in your head and get some free real estate. That's the kind of player Margaret Berry is, and she'll be someone that Midwest United will have to think about because you go in against her, she's going to make sure you know it.
Bree Rogers with the control. Back towards the middle, there's Sydney Bloomquist. That ball banged out of there by Garuder.
It's a bit of a heavy back pass.
Sarah Hugie got a touch, but Midwest United will control it as they play it back to their keeper as well. Maya Perez plays her college soccer for Hartford. And here is your kickoff weather. This will be a developing situation as the evening rolls on. It is very warm, 91 degrees, and it's a whole lot hotter down there on the pitch. And our sideline reporter, Daniela Bruce, spoke to the coaches about the weather earlier today. All right, a little bit of technical difficulty there. We'll get that squared away, get back to Daniela. But that is a storyline, John. Make no mistake. When you're pushing temperatures around 100 degrees down there on the pitch, it will take a toll no matter who you are.
It absolutely will. And you know where it's going to take a toll is the legs. It just absolutely saps.
And here is Macy Warenga. The Oakland Golden Grizzly has that knocked down, and now Detroit City FC with the control. Now DCFC looking to move it through the midfield. And now I understand we have Daniela Bruce out. Daniela, what do they have to say about the weather?
Thank you, Neil. That's right. We've been talking about it's hot today. It's in the 90s here at Keyworth Stadium, and both coaches gave similar answers when I asked them about fatigue. They're both concerned about it. They both have plans in place, but they both did say that their teams are going to come out really strong, and they're expecting a really, really great match. Focusing on Detroit City FC, Coach did say, like he said, you got to switch up your game plan a little bit when you know that things are going to happen due to fatigue. So you may expect some subs, something along that line, but he said their game plan did change a little bit, and plans are in place, but these girls have done the prep work even since Monday of this week. They're ready to go.
And John, that really is consistent with what Sam Perani told us earlier in the week. He said, look, we're going to shrink the substitution patterns, but today your hand is forced. You may have to go to that bench a little more than initially you wanted to.
You know, I think you'll see him go to the bench, but I think what you'll also see him do, because in this match you have rolling subs, because you have re-entry, I think you're going to see him make one or two subs and give some of his starting 11 rests. I think what we're going to see is just kind of calculated use of the drinks breaks. I think you're going to see, not wholesale changes, but he's going to keep everybody fresh because he wants them to have that last bit of wind for the final 15 minutes.
Into the 7th minute, no score. Midwest United FC with the lion's shares of the chances so far. That ball sent up to Macy Warenga. Warenga touches it to Labadie. Schrodenboer goes to the right side of the pitch.
Already seeing something a little different, Neil, from Midwest United early tonight. They started the match against Livonia City with one attacker up top. Now they've got two. You've got Stitch Curry up there, and you also, I want to say it is Marty Corby up there for Midwest United. So they're already testing the City back line with two attackers up top instead of one. They're going to try to split that back four.
There's a ball for Stitch Curry. She will be cut off. And that ball played away by Kim Siebert. But the whistle sounds. And as you said, John, two attackers, with attackers being the operative words. There's Stephanie Curry, who scored 4 goals against Livonia City. She had a hat trick for the Toledo Rockets in 13 minutes against Detroit Mercy last year. And then the other side, Marty Corby, number 18. All she did was score 61 goals in college for Grand Valley State. Had a 25-goal season as a junior and was a 4-time All-American. So attacker is the operative word.
And by the way, had 2 goals on Friday as well.
Sure.
Stitch Curry, that's 6 of right. Midwest United's 9 goals, right up there in that forward 2 for Lewis Robinson in being able to really get on the shoulder of attackers. What's going to be very important for City with the 2 up top is to keep that shape, top to bottom along the back line. Because if you get 2, what will end up happening is you'll end up seeing 2 defensive pairs marking really each of the Midwest United attackers. If you get too focused on your attacker, though, you can play on somebody from the other side, and that's where the balls over the top can really hurt you.
Grace Philpotts escorts that one over the touchline to earn the throw. But talent everywhere you look across this pitch. Big-time players in big-time places for big-time programs. Here comes Midwest United now up the right side. Played into Corby. Corby turns. This time she's thwarted. Curry.
That's really good ball pressure to force the player back.
The shot on frame, and it strikes in the upper right 90. I believe that was Macy Hollingsworth that gave it a go. And she finds it. And Midwest United takes a 1-0 lead.
Just a ball in space and one quick touch. Curry loses control, and all of a sudden running onto it and just taking it first time. City player Reitano giving a chase, but when you have the confidence as a striker just to take one touch and not have to control before you shoot, good things can happen. First shot, first goal. And City find themselves behind.
Which certainly was not the case on Friday, as they got the early jump off the Leland Lucas rocket that she launched. So now City's mettle will be tested here in the 10th minute.
If you're Sam Pirani, though, frankly, Neil, you're just telling your kids to play your game. And that's exactly what's going to happen here is you're going to go out and continue to play the way you've drawn it up. You don't have to chase the game yet.
Tonight's broadcast presented by Stroh's Beer, dependably Detroit since 1850. 1-0 Midwest United with the lead after the early goal from Macy Hollingsworth. So how will DCFC respond? We will see. Ball played to the middle. Grace Labadie. Good takeaway by Kelsey McClafferty. City trying to counter off of it, but then that's taken away by Hollingsworth. Curry makes a run, but the flag is up.
That was good shape by the City back line, Neil. That's that offside trap you've got to make sure you can work. Because if one player doesn't keep their shape on that, Curry's in and onside. And 1v1 against the keeper, and she'll take that advantage all day.
Gabby Garuder will put it back in play. There's her college soccer at Michigan State. Started 18 matches with 5 clean sheets her senior year at Michigan State back in 2015. Capped that off with a shutout against Michigan, John. As a slow smile crawls across your face.
Anytime the Wolverines don't score is a good day for me. Take that all day.
That's what Gabby Garuder did.
And again, she's one of a number of Michigan State Spartans that are on a number of the squads this weekend. Spartan program really growing.
Sarah Hugie with the shot. It's loose right on the doorstep and put in the back of the net. And we are level at 1. Detroit City bounces back. Caroline Fleming does the job.
Caroline Fleming gets the credit, but Sarah Hugie should really get the lion's share of the acclaim for this goal, because we were told by Sam Pirani that she was someone who led by example, and she created and created and created. And Fleming was able to get the tap in on the shot, but Hugie kept going and worked past the player and was able to put the initial shot on frame. She led by example, set it up, her teammate tapped it home, and that's the kind of response you want if you're Sam Pirani on the City touchline. 1-1.
They bounce back almost instantly. You can see Smokey the Robot in the distance on your television, computer, tablet, or phone screen. He's a mobile-based smoke machine. The Northern Guard created him. The smoke can be dispatched from a phone app. So there you have it.
Have you noticed, by the way, on the Keyworth Stadium wall down to our right, Neil, that they've actually singed the paint from the smoke delay on Friday night? So there's a lasting reminder of that.
Yeah, that's very on brand.
On the Keyworth Stadium wall. Little smoke residue up top.
Right above the S, and there's a good look at it from our guy Zach Foster down below. And here's a good look.
Look at this. Hugie just, first of all, wins the physical battle, then doesn't commit the foul against the defender, just wins the shoulder challenge, puts it on frame, the rebound is there, and credit where credit is due to Caroline Fleming for not stopping her run, tap it home, and a great finish, 1-1.
Caroline Fleming's another one that scored a lot of goals in her career. She had 39 of them when she played at Adrian, but I'm going to venture a guess that might have been one of the easiest ones she's ever gotten throughout the course of her life. But as you said, just keep running.
And
keep your run.
City trying to go a little bit over the top right now. Very interesting, giving Midwest United a little bit of their own medicine. I like the back pass there, give your keeper the chance to restart things. What that also does is make Marty Corby up top for Midwest United run in all the way and make Garuder play the pass quickly. Every step that Corby's taken, every step Stitch Curry takes, that's a step out of their legs for later in the contest.
The whistle goes against Detroit City FC. So Midwest United on the restart, the UWS National Champions in 2017. They beat Livonia City FC 9-0 on Friday.
And it wasn't that close.
No, they could have done more damage if they so chose. This restart curled in, headed up in the air by Barry.
Nice job by Margaret Berry to be first to the ball there.
Macy Waringa doesn't win the corner. She disagrees. But we will move it down the pitch. And there is Sam Pirani in his first season. Was also the technical director for Detroit City FC Youth West, a 4-time college All-American as a player at Madonna University. Played professionally for the Cincinnati Riverhawks of the old A-League.
You know, and he is such the right person to be leading this program on the women's side of things. He's got a really good relationship with Trevor James. He's also got a situation where he has his finger on the pulse of the youth setup for Detroit City. They're really trying to build a club that is something that young girls aspire to play for as women. And so they build it from the youth all the way on up and through. And so as he goes to scout and gets ready for next year's tryouts, he's already looking at how to build this program, build this team, build the women's side for this club. A really great decision to bring him on and a really great hire for the club and the program.
His side is level at 1. Some fireworks to start this match in the 17th minute. Ball sent in towards the goal. A little too much on it. Maya Perez makes the grab. We mentioned plays her college soccer at Hartford, was on the America East All-Rookie team back in 2017 and led America East in goals against in 2018 as a sophomore. A 2-time All-Stater at East Kentwood over on the west side of the state.
I'll tell you what, you take a look at that and you say, oh, America East, what is that? Let me tell you, out East, that is a for real soccer conference. It's not a Power 5 conference. Doesn't mean the play isn't good. You've seen some America East clubs in the College Cup tournament get some upsets.
Sydney Bloomquist. Detroit City with the giveaway, and that will result in a corner off the foot of Grace Labadie. So Labadie, the Western Michigan Broncos, started 18 matches last year. 2 goals, 7 assists, had a game-winning goal against Oakland. She wins the corner.
City players on both posts.
Corner service in, good driving corner. And the whistle sounds as Michaela Kovacs knocked to the pitch.
Quick taken.
Here comes Midwest United again. Good ball along the turf into the center. But the whistle sounds.
And that's a heck of a defensive play to come in and make the block. I want to say it was Hugie that was there to make that play. I lie, it's Bree Rogers who got in, and it was a pretty good shoulder challenge in her defensive area to go in and not allow the Midwest United player to get a boot on the ball.
.50 ball popped up in the air.
Good control by Hugie. Just couldn't pass it. Had someone making a run down the wing. Nice control by City, though, to keep possession here. Don't want to have a giveaway in this part of the field.
Morgan Raytano turns with it, controls it. Here comes Bree Rogers. Long ball up ahead. Caroline Fleming in. Kenna making a run as well on the right side. The cross knocked away for a corner. The next 9 minutes presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers.
That is exactly what Sam Perroni wants his club to do. Bree Rogers took a look, saw that she had the chance to free Caroline Fleming down the wing, just played the ball into space. Fleming's pace took over and caught up with it, and that earns the corner. And that flips the script for City and puts them in control in the attacking third. Put a little pressure on the Midwest United back line.
Corner served into the 18. Headed on frame, and the stop made by the keeper. Great execution by Detroit City, but Perez up to the challenge.
That's a great corner play, great set piece. But credit where credit is due to Maya Perez for getting over.
Margaret Berry set it up perfectly.
That's a great header and a great header toward the post. Also a nice job by Midwest United to keep the player on the post. If Perez had been beaten, it would have been headed off the line because the player that was on the post for Midwest United didn't get caught watching the paint dry and leave her spot.
Katie Vitella turns with it.
Nice cutout.
Here comes Midwest United again with some good build-up. Grace Labadie towards the middle. Labadie couldn't get everything she wanted on that pass.
Smart turn there from Phil Potts. Gets possession on the interception, then doesn't needlessly give it away. Confident on the ball to hold it through midfield. A couple of loose touches there by City, but they maintain possession until Stitch Curry takes it away.
Good build-up again from Midwest United. Shot was knocked down. Hesitating and making a turn, though, was Marty Corby. And instead it squirts free towards midfield. Sarah Hugie with it. Ball sent out into space. Who will win the foot race? And it was decidedly won by Michaela Kovacs.
You know, and again, Marty Corby was trying to turn for Midwest United on that last attack, and credit where credit is due. Kim Siebert with a nice shoulder challenge. Legal, but clearly won the ball away. City back forward doing good things early. Smart play, legal play.
How about Kovacs on that effort, too? Took the ball away down on the defensive end and made the run all the way down the pitch towards the 18.
You like to see that pace early. You hope it stays with you for the 90 minutes.
Problem is it makes me tired on a 93-degree day to watch something like that. Here comes Midwest United. Ball sent towards the middle, just out of the reach of Curry.
Neil, I'll be honest. Everything you're doing out there makes me tired. I know enough to know that I could not hang with these women on the soccer pitch. Substitutions, looks like we're going to have a drinks break, too.
That will be the case, the hydration break. Well earned here in the 23rd minute. Some early fireworks in this one as we are level at 1. As we get an opportunity now to honor Detroit Chevy Dealers Youth Club of the match. It's DCFC Genesee 03 Girls Maroon. Rob Knuckles, the team coach. So congratulations to DCFC Genesee 03 up in that Flint area. That's become a hotbed for, I mean, everywhere in the state is really sprouting up, but that Flint metro area, you're seeing some players come out of there.
You are seeing a lot of youth development. And really, soccer is the first sport, if we're being honest, to see really a good reach into the Genesee County area. They do have some travel baseball, softball up there, but, you know, if you're a volleyball player or some of the other Olympic sports, you're coming down to Detroit or going into Grand Rapids to play your club sport. And so to see DCFC partner and really continue to build a youth program up there in the Genesee County area, it's good for girls sports. It's good for, first of all, club recognition, but it also broadens the footprint of the game and allows people to play in their communities. And that's just another one of the things that DCFC is trying to do with these youth programs that continue to expand.
And as we said, we are level at 1. Let's take a look at how we got here. Some good end-to-end action. Midwest United FC came out and got the jump. But, John, we have been going at it. Sarah Hugie was the one that was instrumental. Caroline Fleming cleans up the mess. And Detroit City badly needed that goal.
They absolutely did. They needed the response. They needed to know that they could hang here. Because, remember, look, both managers will tell you that last Friday was just the first salvo, the match in Grand Rapids. It was the first time both teams had really gotten on the pitch. And so, you can say that it doesn't mean a whole lot. But it does. And City had the lead in that match, and they ended up losing it 3-1. And now, that opening goal, you go down 1-0, you need a response. And they got the response, and now we're level, and now you've had a chance to talk with your manager again at the drinks break, and we'll see who comes out with the momentum.
Let's send it down to our sideline reporter, Daniela Bruce.
Thank you, Neil. During that water break, you saw DCFC head coach talking to number 7, Sydney Blomquist. And before the game, I asked him what his keys to this game were. And the first one that he said was to minimize the mistakes. He was talking to her about letting the play develop, taking her time, and finding the open man. Said to bring up the energy a little bit, but make sure she's doing it with composure. So really looking at Sydney Blomquist to lead this team, and we all know why that is, you guys.
Thank you very much, Daniela. Yes, we all do know why that is. There's no question about it. Of course, Sydney Blomquist has played professionally in Portugal, Finland, and Sweden. Also played college soccer at Louisville and Akron. Pretty much the who's who across the world and across the college soccer landscape.
Absolutely. When you can play in that Swedish league, and look, if you haven't really followed the development of the women's game, the Swedish league takes soccer seriously. If you can hang there, you can hang just about anywhere. Now you're seeing some other leagues in Europe kind of grow late to the party, the league in England, the league in France. But the Swedish league's been there for a while, and Sid Blomqvist was able to hang there and is also affiliated with Sporting Lisbon, which is a club that, has done some things in world football history. So a talent there. He wants her to direct traffic for City, but he's right. If the play develops, it's better for what City want to do with the ball.
And talking about Sydney as well, you mentioned in Sweden, you don't have to believe John Krieger's words. Just check the results of the World Cup all the time. So Sweden's always around. They're always a factor. They're always in the mix. And that really tells you those countries with those strong showings in the World Cup tend to have strong domestic leagues, and Sweden certainly is no different.
Well, but it also goes, Neil, to the support of women's athletics.
Right.
You take a look at it. Take a look at the countries that support their women's athletes, that pay them as more equitably or above what other countries do, that fund the programs. And Sweden from early on decided they wanted to compete, that they might not be able to be a world power in the men's game, but they could be in the women's game. And so the Swedish Sport Federation really treated women as equals in terms of the way they set things up, just like the funding with the U.S. in the women's game, in terms of that the U.S. for a long time was at the forefront of what it gave women's athletes. Equity notwithstanding, but the fact that they've been there and supported the women's game more than most from the start.
Rohingya drops it back. Nobody on the other end for Midwest United immediately anyway. Reagan Dalton controls.
I like this shape from City right now, forcing Midwest United back, and really marking Curry and Corby. And look at this counter opportunity.
And here comes a run from Sydney Smith on the right side. It's also Hannah Becker across looking for Smith. The pass unable to connect. But a great counter by Detroit City, and Lightning nearly struck.
First time we've had a chance to look at Hannah Becker. She's a kid with a good soccer IQ and very quick as well. And you saw how quick City could move on the counter. Just the touch a little bit too heavy. Might have been 2-1.
This match has been a lot of fun so far. Good end-to-end action. There's a shot. It rings the right post. Midwest United making a bid to take another lead.
Well, that is the second time today that Gabby Garuder's been beaten, and she gets a little help from her friend, the post. Nice turn on the ball and a quick touch and a quick shot. Really, that's the first time we've seen Midwest United try to move the ball through on the ground. It might have caught City's midfielders a little bit off guard there because they didn't try to chip the ball over. Thought they could carry it through and got a good shot in on goal.
That ball just trickles over the touchline. Quick throw in for Midwest United. A little too quick before the subs were able to come in. Paige Eli checks into the game, as does Sammy Maher. The next 9 minutes are presented by DTE. Are you enjoying this Watch City production from home? Make it even better by firing up a natural gas grill. No tank required. Extending life to the outdoors thanks to our partners at DTE.
Nice job there by the City defense to not allow the service into the area off the throw-in. Make the player with the ball commit, and then a collision.
Some eggs were getting scrambled along that far touchline. Let's see that again.
Oh,
devastating from Tori Singstock.
You will remember that collision. Singstock there. That's a forward coming back, tracking back, and making that kind of play. Oh.
We get a whistle and a stoppage off the restart. Looks like we'll do it again.
Referee saw something they didn't like.
So we'll do it again. Service into the 18 again. Punched up in the air by Garuder. That's the second time she's used the punch.
Good punch by Garuder. And look at this speed from City. It'll go out of play. But that's a heck of a job in pursuit by Sydney Smith to try to track down that ball. And if she couldn't have gotten there, she would have had clear space up the touchline to run.
Boy, that free kick sent right into the mixing bowl. Garuder took it out.
I'll tell you what, and Garuder's been beaten twice, once off the post and once for the goal. But on those set pieces, she's very good in her crease.
Sydney Smith able to touch it out. We'll see if Detroit City FC can move on this counter. Here comes Sydney Smith. Can she track it down? No, it just skips away from her. Sydney Smith, the incoming freshman next year to Western Michigan, was All-State honorable mention at Salem High School as a sophomore. So very talented player.
A number of representatives from the Canton Plymouth Salem triumvirate, that is the Plymouth Canton Educational Park, on the City squad. Becca Prisbello, a Plymouth Wildcat. Kenna White, a Canton Chief. 3 programs that are always in the mix for MHSAA title consideration.
Margaret Berry plays it back to Garuder, who will line it up, boom it down the pitch. So you went to Canton, right?
I did.
So who's the arch rival then in that triumvirate?
So it used to be Salem because there were only 2 schools. When Plymouth opened, they moved Salem to the other division in the conference, and Plymouth became the arch rival. And so inter-park matchups are always, no matter who's playing, are big, but it's become Canton v. Plymouth, and that's been the matchup in a lot of district finals. Salem has gotten to a few of them, but especially in the girls' soccer game, the Canton-Plymouth matchups are blood sport.
Well, Canton and Plymouth, you guys have a lot of time to talk trash to each other when you're stuck in traffic over there, right?
We do, but the other thing of it is that the kids have, the 3 schools are on one campus, and the kids have classes in all 3 buildings.
Okay.
And so you get bragging rights. You beat your arch rival. You're going to class with folks from the other school. It's not like you only see them, on the pitch. You're seeing them every day in class.
Sydney Smith making another run as Shembri jumps up into the play as well, but that ball was played away by Paige Eli very nicely. A throw-in coming up. Paige Eli a bit shaken up. But this was a tremendous play by Eli defensively.
Comes in. Able to disrupt things. And Grace Philpotts, by the way, a pretty good run with the ball, too.
Mia Romeo comes in for the first time here today. Some international experience for her. Played in 4 matches for the Trinidad and Tobago national team. Played in the CONCACAF Olympic qualifiers. Again, that just speaks to the level of players that we've had in this tournament. Players played for the China national team, Trinidad and Tobago. Some very seasoned internationals here in this tournament.
And it also speaks to the fact that the American game, for at least the women's game, these players want to come over and play and be involved in the American college scene. You know, in terms of development of players, still U.S. colleges are among the forefront of where players want to come and develop, Neil, and then go back and play in their countries. You take a look at, you know, England internationals and in terms of until the FAWSL came in, you had a lot of England internationals coming over to play in the States because for a long time the American women's game was where the world went to look to learn, with the exception of perhaps the Chinese system for a while, but even they've fallen off the boil and haven't been really as successful in the last few World Cup cycles.
Plus you walk away with a degree when it's all said and done, so it's win-win. Sydney Shembry along the touchline, mixing it up. Things are getting physical, and I saw arm wrapped around a waist, so Shembry will get whistled for a foul.
You know, we talked about the fact we're going to see more subs, and we see 3 more here. So far, by my count, that's at least 6 subs for Midwest United, at least 6 subs for City that we've seen, you know, in and out through the first 30-some minutes. And this is both managers trying to keep things fresh for the second half. And that physical play, go down to the turf, get up, still chirping. Who says these two sides don't want to win this? This is their season. There's a trophy at the end of it for one of these sides. Saw it down there on the pitch before the match. They want to take it home.
Here comes Stephanie Curry sending it across. And Garuder will scoop it up and roll it out. Quick restart by Garuder.
Smart restart by Garuder. Reverse the field. Allows City to try to work it up, but you can't give it away with a touch like that.
Midwest United FC seeing if they can reap the benefits of a bit of sloppiness from Detroit City. And we have seen that a couple times here in the first half. A bit of a sloppy touch here and there has flipped the possession.
Yeah, and Midwest United trying to get Curry involved. She's moved out to the wing. Now they'll go onto the wing. Nice job to win the aerial ball by City. They're going to concede a corner here, but nice job on a flick into the mixing bowl to go up and win that ball.
Margaret Berry doing the job, an all-around athlete as Jocelyn Gott comes in. Berry was a 2-time district champion in basketball at Fenton High School, 2-time captain in golf at Fenton High School. Obviously, very good soccer player as well.
And, you know, you're not going to see her on the score sheet a whole lot, but you're going to win a lot of games because Margaret Berry is on your team. Because she does the dirty work. Wins the 50-50 balls, wins the challenges.
That shot fired and a diving stop made by Gabby Garuder.
That's a great save by Garuder. That ball was bending.
It was labeled.
I heard somebody say, hey, can we get organized here? I think City would like to be able to close that ball down.
Oh, that was labeled, no doubt.
That was for the upper corner. And a nice punch away by Garuder.
Another corner coming. Midwest United circling the waters right now.
I think Barry won another one.
Throw-in coming up for Reagan Cox, but how about this stop by Gabby Garuder?
Wow, that was going top corner. And she said no.
Detroit City will get the possession back, and they needed it. They were under some heavy pressure from Midwest United.
All right, final 10 minutes of the first half here, Neil. Let's take a look at keys to the game and who's been more successful. We talked about the ball through midfield and who's going to be more successful. Well, the answer is, to be honest, so far it's been Midwest United for a lot of this match. They've had the ball in the attacking third for a lot of the match. They've taken advantage of some giveaways by Detroit City, but City have shown you just how dangerous they are. Their goal, a couple of those runs down the wings, shows you what they can do. They need to be a little more forceful in midfield, and they need to be a little better keeping possession in order to free people on the wings, because if they can do that, that's where they will exert their dominance and where they're the better side.
That ball sent back to Perez. He was under some pressure, but did well to send it back up towards the middle of the pitch. And a flag will go up, I'm sure, which gives me an opportunity to tell you the next 9 minutes of this match are presented by our friends at Detroit City Distillery, producing the finest artisanal small batch gin, vodka, whiskey, and, of course, the exclusive City Gold, available at our City Clubhouse. Check out their nightly block parties in Eastern Market as well. This will be a good night tonight for maybe a gin and soda out on the back deck.
Man,
pour that Detroit City Distillery, throw a lime in there, you are good to go.
You are. It's a summer night cocktail right there.
That's right. That ball flicked, and I believe the flag will go up, and it does, as Jenna Smith was way ahead of the pack. There is Jenna Smith, plays for Aquinas College.
So City's going to have the chance to have possession here. There are 39 minutes and 43 seconds so far on the clock, and we're going to have 2 minutes of stoppage time, I would bet, because of the drinks break. You've got 7 minutes to go in before your team talk with Sam Perroni. Keep possession. Do what he wants. Don't give it away. Make the smart choices.
Schrodenbauer a bit undecisive in what she wanted to do.
Well, Schrodenbauer was undecisive because Sydney Shembry decided that she wanted to run her guts out and pressure Schrodenbauer.
Blomqvist. Siebert. Blomqvist again. Up ahead for Shembry.
If you can get possession here for City, settle it down a little bit.
Jenna Smith will get there first. Jenna Smith goes to the turf. Official says play on. Midwest continues possession. Right foot shot curled on frame. Garuder makes the grab.
And by the way, that's a good decision by the official to have play on. The turf monster bit her. She was going down. She was halfway down before the City player even caught up with her.
Sammy Maher gave that one a go, but right into the chest of Garuder.
Sammy Maher's dangerous as well. We saw that last Friday when she put in a brace, put the game out of reach. Uh-oh, look out. Nice job to get back up. Margaret Berry falls down over the ball, gets back up, and still wins possession. Love the way that kid plays.
Midwest United again with it. Then Bree Rogers receives it. Rogers touches it to Becker.
Blomqvist directing traffic, trying to set up a 1-2. She's trying to set things up to play on the wing, and then the touch just isn't good and goes out. But you can see the IQ of Sid Blomqvist. She was trying to set up a triangle there to pass to Blomqvist, back to someone to free someone up the wing, and the touch just too heavy in the end. But that's where Sid Blomqvist's soccer IQ is that she's always out there directing traffic. She's going to be constantly talking to her teammates, always up and looking around. See, even there, she's looking around. She's trying to spot where things are. She's going to go right in on the ball and win possession right off the throw-in.
Throw-in coming up for Detroit City. Blomqvist, the woman of the match, and the win over Lansing United on Friday. Throw in just over the top of Shembry. Trickles across the line. Moving towards the 44th minute. Our Watch City stream brought to you by Stroh's. Remember, you can send tweets with the hashtag Watch City. We'll get to some of those coming up in the second half.
That's really good ball pressure by Hannah Becker, forcing Midwest United back. Had a player up the wing, couldn't get the ball to her because Hannah Becker just cut off the passing lane.
Good build up here. Ball sent in, coming off the line. Garuder And she's able to dive to the turf and pick that up. Fortunately for her, she was first on the scene.
Smart by Garuder, realizing she had to come out and play that ball. If the Midwest United player is able to catch up on that, there's not a whole lot Garuder can do, and she's going to have to make a lot harder save. That's where you have to come out and try and claim that ball. And sometimes if you don't get there, you look foolish, but that's the right play. Couple of minutes here to go in the first half. Pace is kind of slowed. I think you're starting to see the heat really settle in, Neil.
I agree.
You know, everybody's getting a little bit leggy. You know, the energy just a little bit sapped. Everybody wants to get to the dressing room. This is the point in the match, these last few minutes plus stoppage time, where mistakes can happen, because you gotta work that much harder to rev the engine and keep your shape and not give away a run. That's a nice touch.
Amatri sends it ahead. Nobody on the other end for Midwest United. Detroit City taking no chances. There is Margaret Berry. 5 matches played with her first career goal last season for Boston University.
That's a nice takeaway. Now get up, one touch, send somebody forward. That's a foul. All right.
And that is the case. Schrodenbauer disagrees.
And then Schrodenbauer stands over the ball and should be carded for time wasting. But that's beside the point.
She just got a stern talking to. Josh Abbs, the head referee today. Samuel Pizzimenti, the assistant referee, as is Ryan Homick. Josh Abbs had that look on his face as he was expressing his displeasure, we'll say it like that, with Schrodenbauer.
Yeah, that's about as close as you're going to get to having a card come out the pocket, because that was professionally done.
There'll be 2 minutes of stoppage time. As that ball trickles over the line.
A couple of liberties there by Midwest United, gaining a couple extra yards on the throw.
Life is about real estate, John.
Location.
Absolutely. I believe it was The Sopranos where I heard the great line, invest in real estate. God ain't making any more of it. So the more you control, the better off you are.
I like that.
That's a great line, isn't it?
It's an excellent line.
Battle for it along the far touchline, Midwest United. It just seems like they've won more of those 50-50 loose balls.
City, there have been moments tonight where City have just been a step slow, I think, cognitively. You know, that ball that was played in midfield, you sat there, and Sydney Smith, it came into space, and she was near it. And there was this half second where she just said, oh, I can go get that. You got to know. And part of that, I think, is the heat. Part of that is, the intensity of this match. But the team that wins this match is going to be the team that takes those opportunities and doesn't need that kind of half cognitive second.
That shot is blocked.
Is that Margaret Berry again?
Giving up the body.
Good God.
Right there.
Wow. I told you she has a little bit of nasty in her, and that she will not let something get past her if she can try it. And that is giving your all and then some. That one will be felt with ice later.
Yeah, yes, it will. As we get back to live action, that ball off the side of the frame, and the whistle sounds, and the first half is complete here at Keyworth Stadium in the Keyworth Showcase. Midwestern United FC getting the jump with a 1-0 lead. City leveled, and here we stand. We'll take a break, come back, get you the second half of play. This is the Watch City Stream, brought to you by Stroh's.
With Equinox from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, the sky isn't the limit. Lease a 2020 Equinox LT front-wheel drive for just $261 a month. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. The Chevy Equinox from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers is a green thumbs up. Inside, and out. Lease a 2020 Equinox LT front-wheel drive for just $261 a month for 36 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Football is a big deal in this house. So when Maurice was injured, we immediately thought the worst. To see my baby lose his joy hurt.
The DMC, Rehabilitation Institute of Michigan, is here to help athletes get back in the game.
They're like family. It was a long road, but we made it back.
DMC, Rehabilitation Institute of Michigan, a community built on care.
Soccer, soccer, soccer. Watch it at Detroit's premier soccer bar, the Detroit City Clubhouse. We have domestic and international. Soccer, soccer, soccer. Enjoy cold beer. Don't forget to pies, pies, pies. The Detroit City Clubhouse. Perfect for birthday parties and corporate events. Detroit City Clubhouse. Detroit's home for soccer, soccer, soccer.
In Michigan, the future is something we build with our hands and our hearts. So as one of the biggest investors in infrastructure in the state, DTE will spend $2 billion with Michigan companies this year alone, creating thousands of jobs while providing clean, safe, reliable energy, improving lives today, and building an even stronger tomorrow. Because we're all Michiganders. Nothing stands in our way. DTE.
Imaginary lines that lie between us, it's just lies. You see us beyond races and classes. One day we'll all dance and raise glasses. See, we are one. This doesn't have to be a zero-sum game where some lose and some gain. Time, space, distance, it's all relative. Think about it. We're all relatives. No time to build walls. We got bridges to mend. And that's the beauty of us. The beauty of blend.
The Chevy Trax from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers has a sporty, compact design that makes it the perfect SUV for everywhere you like to roll. Lease a 2020 Trax LT front-wheel drive for just $222 a month. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. The Chevy Traverse from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers fits your life with room to grow. Lease a 2020 Traverse LT front-wheel drive for just $279 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Football is a big deal in this house. So when Maurice was injured, we immediately thought the worst. To see my baby lose his joy hurt.
The DMC, Rehabilitation Institute of Michigan, is here to help athletes get back in the game.
They're like family. It was a long road, but we made it back.
DMC, Rehabilitation Institute of Michigan, a community built on care.
When it comes to Michigan's future, DTE is all in for you. So we're giving 2 million masks to frontline workers and 600,000 to small businesses as they reopen, helping over 500,000 families with meals and shelter, and leading a coalition to provide tablets and internet access to 51,000 school children so they can keep learning at home. DTE is all in for you. DTE.
Imaginary lines that lie between us, it's just lies. You see us beyond races and classes. One day we'll all dance and raise glasses. See, we are one. This doesn't have to be a zero-sum game where some lose and some gain. Time, space, distance, it's all relative. Think about it. We're all relatives. No time to build walls. We got bridges to mend. And that's the beauty of us. The beauty of blend.
With Equinox from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, the sky isn't the limit. Lease a 2020 Equinox LT front-wheel drive for just $261 a month. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. The Chevy Equinox from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers is a green thumbs up, inside and out. Lease a 2020 Equinox LT front-wheel drive for just $261 a month for 36 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. With Equinox from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, the sky isn't the limit. Lease a 2020 Equinox LT front-wheel drive for just $261 a month. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. The Chevy Equinox from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers is a green thumbs up, inside and out. Lease a 2020 Equinox LT front-wheel drive for just $261 a month for 36 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Football is a big deal in this house. So when Maurice was injured, we immediately thought the worst. To see my baby lose his joy hurt.
The DMC, Rehabilitation Institute of Michigan, is here to help athletes get back in the game.
They're like family. It was a long road, but we made it back.
DMC, Rehabilitation Institute of Michigan, a community built on care.
Soccer, soccer, soccer. Watch it at Detroit's premier soccer bar, the Detroit City Clubhouse. We have domestic and international. Soccer, soccer, soccer. Enjoy cold beer. Don't forget to pies, pies, pies. The Detroit City Clubhouse. Perfect for birthday parties and corporate events. Detroit City Clubhouse. Detroit's home for soccer, soccer, soccer.
In Michigan, the future is something we build with our hands and our hearts. So as one of the biggest investors in infrastructure in the state, DTE will spend $2 billion with Michigan companies this year alone, creating thousands of jobs while providing clean, safe, reliable energy, improving lives today, and building an even stronger tomorrow. Because we're all Michiganders. Nothing stands in our way. DTE.
Imaginary lines that lie between us, it's just lies. You see us beyond races and classes. One day we'll all dance and raise glasses. See, we are one. This doesn't have to be a zero-sum game where some lose and some gain. Time, space, distance, it's all relative. Think about it. We're all relatives. No time to build walls. We got bridges to mend. And that's the beauty of us. The beauty of blend.
The Chevy Trax from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers has a sporty, compact design that makes it the perfect SUV for everywhere you like to roll. Lease a 2020 Trax LT front-wheel drive for just $222 a month. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. The Chevy Traverse from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers fits your life with room to grow. Lease a 2020 Traverse LT front-wheel drive for just $279 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Football is a big deal in this house. So when Maurice was injured, we immediately thought the worst. To see my baby lose his joy hurt.
The DMC, Rehabilitation Institute of Michigan, is here to help athletes get back in the game.
They're like family. It was a long road, but we made it back.
DMC, Rehabilitation Institute of Michigan, a community built on care.
When it comes to Michigan's future, DTE is all in for you. So we're giving 2 million masks to frontline workers and 600,000 to small businesses as they reopen, helping over 500,000 families with meals and shelter, and leading a coalition to provide tablets and internet access to 51,000 school children so they can keep learning at home. DTE is all in for you. DTE.
Imaginary lines that lie between us, it's just lies. You see us beyond races and classes. One day we'll all dance and raise glasses. See, we are one. This doesn't have to be a zero-sum game where some lose and some gain. Time, space, distance, it's all relative. Think about it. We're all relatives. No time to build walls. We got bridges to mend. And that's the beauty of us. The beauty of blend.
With Equinox from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, the sky isn't the limit. Lease a 2020 Equinox LT front-wheel drive for just $261 a month. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. The Chevy Equinox from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers is a green thumbs up, inside and out. Lease a 2020 Equinox LT front-wheel drive for just $261 a month for 36 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Welcome back to Keyworth Stadium here in the Keyworth Showcase. We are level at 1. Detroit City FC, Midwest United FC. Neil Rule, John Krieger, Daniela Bruce back with you. Let's take a look at how we got to this 1-1 scoreline. And, John, there were early fireworks on both sides.
Well, of course, Midwest United opened the scoring with a one-touch goal. Gabby Garuder couldn't do a whole lot about it. A nice ball that scored it into space, and then the one touch and the one goal. And on the other end, once Midwest United had taken the lead, after a nice knockaway and the ball into space, one touch, and all of a sudden Garuder's beaten, and all of a sudden it's 3 goals in a row between these two sides. But then on the other side, Detroit City FC able to get things going, and it was a great individual effort by Sarah Hugie, who got a ball from Sid Bloomquist, muscled past the defender, won a physical challenge, didn't give up on the play, shot on frame, and then the easy tap in for Caroline Fleming. She'll take those kind of goals all day long. And then we played out the half at 1-1. These two teams evenly matched. Should be a fun second 45 minutes.
Now, Gabby Garuder had a couple of moments where she stood on her head to keep this match level at 1. For more on Garuder, let's send it down to our sideline reporter, Daniela Bruce.
Thank you, Neil. That's right, Gabby Garuder. She knew that she was going to get the start today. Coach Pirani told me at halftime that they had set each goaltender was going to get one start this weekend, which meant Gabby was in for today. So he's not surprised that she's sharp, and he's happy to see her make a few big saves to keep them in this game. He also said that if DCFC is going to come away with a win in this one, that they need to be cleaner on the ball, pick up their heads before they make their decisions. I also heard him talking to his team, and he said when they are on the attack, they need their defense to push up as soon as possible and shorten the field for Midwestern United. So a big task at hand here in the second half. Excited to see how this one plays out, guys.
As are we, and a special thanks to our friends at Strategic Staffing Solutions. Headquartered in Detroit, placed around the globe, people-powered, customer-centered community champions, the perfect staffing agency for your staffing needs. As the second half gets rolling, championship match of the Keyworth Showcase. Here comes Midwest United. This attack on the left side. Left-footed shot from Curry is blocked, but a throw-in coming up.
It's always nice when Sam Pirani sets your keys to the game for you, because that's exactly what I was going to set for the second half keys for Detroit City FC. A lot of oopsie moments in the first half, a lot of heavy touches, a lot of balls that were played in without the intent and purpose that Sam Pirani looks for. He wants his team to be passing, collecting a ball, turning, moving the ball with purpose and with your head on a swivel so that you can see options. And there was large swaths of the first half where you didn't see that from City. You saw them get the ball and then have to control it, and then you'd allow the defender to close down, or the touch would be heavy and the ball would run 5 yards away, and you lose possession because you give it away to the trailing defender. City were excellent on the ball Friday night against Lansing United. They were able to keep it near their boot. They had their heads up. They picked out their teammates. They haven't done that as well in the first half tonight. They need to be better in the second.
So everything on the line here as we move in towards the 48th minute. Well, that second half always seems to move quickly, doesn't it? Always, every soccer match. You look up, a couple minutes later, the screws continue to tighten little by little.
Until the home side have a 1-goal lead with about the 80th minute, and then every minute takes about 5.
Absolutely. Ball played up for Kenna White. Speaking of goals in the final 10 minutes of the match, he had one on Friday that put Detroit City FC here.
You know, I was really pleased to see, by the way, Sid Bloomquist selected as the player of the match in Friday's match because, you know, Kenna White got the glory of poking home that giveaway. Guess who forced it? That was Bloomquist that went in, and Kenna White stayed with her and made the goal possible. But, you know, the work rate that we saw, you know, we haven't even seen Lily Lucas tonight really get involved for Detroit City FC.
Here's a good ball into space. Caroline Fleming has been involved.
She has. She's been a speedster down the wing all night.
The throw-in coming up now for Midwest.
Take an extra 5 yards.
I think we established it. Life's about real estate.
Yeah. And the quotes about real estate have been coming in on the Watch City Twitter stream, I understand.
Yes, they have with the hashtag Watch City. Send your tweets. We'll be getting to those in just a couple minutes. Here's Caroline Fleming. Can she get to this? Not quite. So the goal kick coming up. Gives me a chance to tell you, though, with the hashtag Watch City, the Twitter feed at Nisi1917. Said I'm patio streaming out there watching the match, having their cocktails out there on the back patio. That's always a good play.
Saw a shot of Caroline Fleming there, and she deserves to be on frame because she's been really great up the touchline for City all day today. The problem is that City haven't been able to get her the ball a whole lot. And that comes to the play in midfield that we've been talking about all game and the decision-making that comes from that.
Throw-in coming up now for City. A lot of tropical themes with the hashtag Watch City. Our good friend Mackie. Hope you guys are staying cool at Keyworth. I'm enjoying the Watch City broadcast poolside. Let's get that title.
Yeah, Jared, that was not a cool picture to send, man. And by the way, just as a side note, somebody's cooking out here in one of the houses around Keyworth, and I can smell it.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I agree.
It makes me miss my pregame Strodex here when fans and vendors are allowed in the stadium again. That'll be one of the first things I do.
Me too. The cheese-filled sausage is pretty class.
It's where it's at.
Yeah, pepper jack cheese. Back to the match. Marty Corby with the turn, tries to thread it through. Stitch Curry made the run. Unable to get on the end of it. Cross sent over. Sammy Maher tracks it down and turns and puts it out of play. Maher played her college soccer at Central Michigan. Had a brace against Akron and a game-winning goal against Kansas State during her career. She was also recruited by Dayton and Providence. And you mentioned earlier the 2 goals she had against Detroit City in the match over in Grand Rapids.
But you will take the kind of ball that she just sent in there all day.
No question.
If Sammy Maher is shooting from the corner flag, that is the kind of percentage shot you want to limit her attacking prowess to.
Sydney Bloomquist knocked that down, wasn't even trying to.
And she just kept going and playing. Lost the battle, but
Waringa turns. She fires across, all the way across the 18.
nice pickup here. Now turn and control possession. And don't do that.
A flat-out giveaway for Detroit City. That ball sent over top of everyone. And it's touched out. And off that giveaway, John, there will be a corner for Midwest United FC.
See that,
and we saw Lansing United hurt Detroit City with the corner piece.
And that's exact. But you know what? Gabby Garuder has shown herself to be a pretty good keeper in her area during corners, and so that's a good thing for City. But that's what Sam Prani was talking about. Know what you're doing with the ball. Just don't flat give it away. Control it.
Corner sent in. Garuder double-fisted, I believe.
That is three corners and 3 punches by Garuder. Excellent play.
That ball flicked on. The flag should go up, and it does. Grace Labadie in ahead of everyone. There is another look at Gabby Garuder.
She's going to take this and restart this, and City's going to play out from the back. But if you're going to do that, all right, so you've given the back pass to your keeper. Now Garuder's going to set this up. The person who's intended for this, you got to go to the ball.
Reagan Cox took it away. Build up with Waringa. Waringa muscled off, but it will result in another corner. And John, you get the feeling Midwest United FC knocking at the door here at the beginning of the second half.
Yeah, City a little bit back on their heels. Neil, there's no other way to say it. And they need to be better playing it out. If you're going to play possession football like Sam Peroni wants to do, you got to be better with your decisions on the ball.
Corner sent in. It's over top of the bar. But a dangerous opportunity for Midwest United FC. Detroit City FC able to dodge the bullet. Marty Corby had a look.
And another nice play in and a flick. And I don't think it actually would have got on frame, but the fact that she had the space to make that flick on goal just shows you how she's been able to exert her influence. City tried to go up the wing, but again, the touch just too heavy, and they give possession right back. It's been all Midwest United in the second half. It was all Midwest United for about the last 15 minutes of the first.
Hannah Becker does well to win the throw-in. She tosses it in right away. That cross knocked down. Bloomquist will get on the end of it. And again, a giveaway from Detroit City FC.
And now it's Midwest United who are actually playing the ball. Oh, they're going to go over the top this time. And there's
Here
Stitch
comes
Curry.
the situation. Curry, 1v1. Curry crosses over. Curry puts it away. And Midwest United FC take a 2-1 lead. Stephanie Curry had 4 goals on Friday. She strikes here to give her side the lead.
Well, you go over the top like that, and you've got a back line that you had some success against, and the shape wasn't great. Curry had a chance to run on, get a full head of steam because she was played onside. Nothing Garuda can do but try and come and get that ball. She comes, she misses, and it's in the back of the net. And City trail 2-1.
So here in the 55th minute, the narrative has changed. Detroit City FC, they've done it once already here tonight. We'll have to score again to level.
And to do that, by the way, they're going to need to establish some possession here, take some heat off their defenders.
Caroline Fleming drops it back. Labadie sends it ahead. Curry lurking. Stephanie Curry, the MAC All-Freshman Team Performer for Toledo. Had 6 goals and 3 assists for the Rockets last season. A hat trick against the University of Detroit in only 13 minutes. And 4 goals on Friday night against Livonia. And she makes her presence felt.
Worth noting, by the way, Neil, that for a while there, Midwest United had gone away from the ball over the top. They'd played the ball a lot on the ground. They'd had the ability to do that in possession. But Stitch Curry was always lurking, and it opened up the ball over the top again, and she took advantage of it beautifully.
Now here's Grace Labadie going down to the turf. That ball pops free up top. Reitano turns with it, tried to go wide. Caroline Fleming was making a run, but the ball never made it through.
I think it went off the back of Sid Bloomquist there. Just wrong place, wrong time.
Morenga making a move on the wing. Morenga's been pretty good here in the second half. She's had the ball a lot on that right wing.
And just worked her way past the defender.
And might win a corner.
And does.
And she does. So Macy Morenga doing some work. Played over 400 minutes last year for the Oakland Golden Grizzlies as a freshman. Looks to be continuing her development. Corner set up here for Midwest United. Gruder's been up to the challenge, especially on corners here this evening. That one comes in short. Not much happening for Midwest United FC.
That was not the best corner offering. You'd like a little more height on that ball. Worth noting, though, you know, and I think it's at this point that you got to put this in perspective for Detroit City FC and Midwest United. There will be a lot of City fans who are used to the success of the men's side and are used to that kind of play, and that is exactly what Sam Pirani is trying to build here. But I think to have the proper perspective on this, you have to think about the fact that in the women's game, it is Detroit City who are the underdog in terms of having built the program, and Midwest United have a head start. A lot of these players, by the way, from Midwest United, they're from the Grand Rapids area. They got their start in the Midwest United youth system, which has been teaching this kind of football for some time. And so if you're going to look at the proper perspective of where to judge Detroit City women for now, you cannot judge them against the 2019, 2018, 2017 men.
There's a giveaway in that shot blocked by Margaret Berry.
You have to judge them against the 2012 Detroit City men who just came into the NPSL and were building things from the beginning, and that's what the women's side is trying to do here. And so there are going to be moments where you're going to want to improve. There are going to be moments where you need to improve, but you have to keep the proper perspective of what Samperani is now trying to build.
Corner sent in towards the back post. That got through everyone. And trickles away and through, and a throw-in coming up for Detroit City FC. And again, going back to it, too, you look at the talent on this Midwest United FC side. Reagan Cox, committed to play for Arkansas in the SEC. Eliotto, that we saw on Friday night out of Granville High School, committed to play for Mississippi State in the SEC. Yeah, it's not playtime down there. Like
No.
it's not for fun. It's serious business.
You know, and we talk about what DCFC has done by having DCFC, the Genesee youth, come in,
Right.
and what they've done with DCFC Youth West and some of the downriver programs as well. You know, for a long time, if you wanted to play elite level soccer, you went into the Midwest United umbrella. You take a look at some of these kids that are on this Midwest United club, and one of them plays at DeWitt High School and is an all-Lansing area team. One of them plays on East Lansing's high school team and is an all-area player. And so they're drawing from even into the Lansing area because they are the established name on the west side of the state in developing the women's soccer game. Give DCFC 2, 3, 4 more years. You're going to see them have even more of a pipeline come through, as we've got a collision here and 2 players down and the worse for it.
Hannah Becker for Detroit City FC. I believe that's Bria Schrodenboer for Midwest United. And the DMC Sports Medicine team running out onto the pitch. Let's take another look at it.
Ooh.
You see head-to-head.
That'll hurt.
So this will take some time here.
Yep, they're going to make sure both of these
No
players
question.
are okay. That's a full speed going for a 50-50 ball. Nobody gets the ball, and you get full head-on-head contact. And
We are in the 61st minute, 2-1, Midwest United FC with the lead as you look at the Detroit City FC bench. So, John, for DCFC, I know you've touched on it a couple of times here in the second half, but when we saw them at their most dangerous in the first half in this match, it was on the counterattack. They were able to gain possession and then finish an opportunity.
Well, but start an opportunity, too.
And start an opportunity,
You know,
more importantly.
That's exactly what they haven't been able to do. And when you take time over the ball, and when you're sitting there and you don't have your head up and you're not picking out the next pass, you're allowing defenders to close down on you. When City was successful on their goal in the first half, it was 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, gone. And that's what they need to get back to. That's what Samperani's offense is built around. That's what his attack is built around. And if you don't see that, if you don't have that kind of touch passing, it's tough to get the Pirani system moving.
There you saw Sam Pirani and Lewis Robinson, head coaches of their respective sides. And it looks like Schrodenboer is to her feet and walking off, and that is a good sign as she's right next to Lewis Robinson. He was the 2018 U.S. Soccer Development Academy National Coach of the Year. As Schrodenboer, who played her college soccer at Michigan State, was a member of the Big Ten All-Freshman team last year. Got her first career goal against Michigan. That's the way you want to do it if you're a Spartan.
You know, we'll take it all day.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nice to see Hannah Becker sitting up now.
Right.
That's a good thing. I think they've probably got some ice on her over there. That's a young kid. Hannah Becker, this kid is a GVSU commit, still in high school. And when we talked with Sam Pirani in our production meeting earlier this week, he talked about her and talked about the fabulous soccer IQ that she has. Her decision-making, her speed, her touch, her ability to control the ball. the vision that she has on the field. Bright, bright future for this young lady. And I would be willing to bet it is not the last time we have seen her in rouge and gold.
Plays her club soccer for the Michigan Jaguars.
And the way she's walking off here, the Henry Ford Health System folks are going to make sure she's well and good and okay.
Let's send it down to Daniela Bruce, our sideline reporter, with an update as to what was going on in the huddles.
Great to see both players getting off the field, you guys. That is the first thing that I want to point out. But obviously for DCFC, using this as a bit of a second water break here, and you could hear the assistant coaches talking to the rest of his team. Again, it comes back to controlling the game, and he said we've got to stop forcing the issue. We cannot force the ball to places where it doesn't belong, and we have to play smart in our own end. So again, it's really just focusing on playing smart, settling down, and getting things back under control, you guys.
Sam's absolutely right.
Appreciate that, Daniela Bruce, our sideline reporter. My name is Neil Rule. Broadcast partner John Krieger. We are your Stroh's Watch City broadcast team. Happy to have you with us wherever you may be watching around the world. So Hannah Becker able to make her way back to the Detroit City FC bench area. And it looks like we are ready to pick live action back up.
Now, what will be interesting here, Neil, is whether or not the officials will, because that happened at about 58, 59 minutes. Will the officials deem that the water break and let the two sides play all the way through? Because that could play a role in terms of momentum. If City can pick something up here, you know, you don't want to have another stoppage 7 minutes down the road for a drinks break.
Ball sent ahead, and a lot of times you see in the game of soccer, you know, you talked about it, Midwest United FC has probably had the run of play here in the second half, but a stoppage like that, maybe you could catch them slow to react, you know, in the initial minutes after the match has restarted.
Yeah, you want to come out on the front foot, really make the most of kind of the coaching session. Look at that run in to test the keeper.
And that was Kenna White again. And certainly a similar play by her was the difference on Friday night. So she makes another run at it.
That kind of run by her and Bloomquist on Friday. Just make the keeper ask the question of the keeper. Just keep asking the question and asking the question and asking the question. But don't give it up on the other end. Watch for service here.
That ball knocked away by Margaret Berry. And our sideline reporter Daniela Bruce just told me in my ear that will count as the water break. So we will roll on. Excited to have Daniela Bruce as part of the broadcast team this year.
Great to have a new face in the City family.
That ball sent across and popped up out of harm's way.
Of course, Daniela with experience in the game.
The all-time points leader and all-time assist leader at Anchor Bay High School. All-time, you know, as in no one ever got more.
Hey, listen.
Let that sink in.
A record is a record. Take it.
A substitution coming in. Julia Stancato will check into the match. She played her college soccer at Siena Heights. 14 goals during her college career.
We saw Stancato get some good minutes on Friday.
She's also a big fan of Post Malone, as I know John Krieger is as well.
Oh, you know. Listen. Post Malone and Taylor Swift, two of my favorites.
I like to think that you're better now. Better now.
We're not doing this again.
Oh, but it's a hit with the play the hits, John.
I'll let them do it on the Watch City Twitter feed.
All right. Throw in for Detroit City, 68th minute.
To tell you, by the way, how big a role Post Malone plays in my life, I was watching that new commercial that he happens to be in, and my wife looks at me and said, "What's a Post Malone and why should I care?" This tells you just exactly how in tune with the modern music the Krieger Youngerman household is.
Sammy Maher sets up the touch. coming back and recovering. Grace Philpotts to take it away. Paige Eli recovers to send it back to the keeper. Fans, make sure you keep up with everything Detroit City FC and catch the official match recap video presented by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Make sure you stay in tune with all the Detroit City FC social media channels for that. Here's Reagan Cox. That ball played away in the aforementioned discussion we were having. Reagan Cox playing college soccer at Arkansas. Played high school at Mona Shores High School. She had 29 goals and 30 assists as a sophomore in high school.
To be that good that young shows you really have vision for the game and a nose for the ball. That's tough to coach. You have to have that kind of innate ability from a young age to be able to find the net. Once you have that innate ability, then you can be fine-tuned by coaches. But if you're scoring as a 10th grade kid,
29 and 30, by the way.
Yeah, that'll work.
If you need it. Yeah, that'll get you to Arkansas in the SEC.
Yep. That pays for college really quickly.
Philpotts played it ahead, went off the back heel of Stancato, and a throw-in coming up for Midwest United FC. There's Bria Schrodenboer back into the match. She was one of the players that was down after the collision, so good to see her back in. Now it's wide to the left.
To get
There's Marty
possession
Corby.
here. Oh.
Stepping through the shot. A rocket launch by Curry, but it was wide of the right post. That ball was struck with bad intentions.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, and that was City just let the ball go into space here. Kind of in between two players. You got it, I got it, nobody got it. And all of a sudden, it's rolling free for Stitch Curry, and she just drags it wide. But that is a dream setup for a striker. Oh, I can run onto a ball in space? Thanks.
She brought heat on that shot. But luckily it was sent wide for Detroit City.
And Garuder, to her credit, was in good position, but that would have been tough for anybody to save with that much pace on the ball.
Here comes City along the far touchline. Cross sent over. Loose for a moment. Tracking it down was Philpotts. Goes back to Stancato. She curls it into the box. And it's played away, but a throw-in for City. And DCFC right now showing signs of going on the offensive attack.
Now here comes Tori Singstock into the lineup for Detroit City FC. Remember, she had the first goal in the history of the DCFC women's side. She opened the scoring last Friday in Grand Rapids. She is someone who has a nose for goal. So you lose the throw in here. Look at Bloomquist trying to rein in her player. She forces the back pass. Now run at that. Ask the question.
But mission accomplished right there. Cindy Bloomquist does the job. Wins the throw-in.
And that's the kind of player she is. Now a takeaway here. Now don't let the player run through in space. Close that down. And a nice job to get possession back.
Boy, look at Curry close. She put her head down and made a move towards the ball.
Went into another gear.
Reagan Dalton touches it wide to the left. Detroit City FC recovers. McClafferty.
Now what we saw Friday night, and you heard Daniela say this at halftime when she was talking with Samperani. He wants those defenders. You've got to respect the fact that you have two up over the top, and you don't want to let them get in behind you, but he also would like to see a little more of a press. He'd like to see when City has possession to try to press things forward. And the defenders have kind of hung back because they got burned by Stitch Curry, and they don't want to get burned again. And so there's a fine line there. We got a corner over here. Is that Stitch Curry going to take the corner?
Yes, it is.
Interesting.
So she will line it up. She has the unassisted goal that has put Midwest United FC in the lead. Corner serve. Boy, that had some pace on it too. Shot blocked. And we will do a corner again, this time from the other side.
Interesting. The two strikers alternate. I think it's Marty Corby who's going to take the corner on the other side. And that'll put Curry up into the attack, and she stands right about the penalty spot. Watch for an outswinger.
Curry drawing attention. That ball sent over top to the middle. Really nobody in that area for Midwest United FC. Can DCFC counter? Sydney Bloomquist peels back. Spins towards the middle.
Now touch away.
That ball taken away. Novak's ball sent up ahead. Garuder has it.
That's a nice throw from Garuder. And frankly, a very nice dispossession by Midwest United.
Here's Reagan Dalton. Trickles it ahead. Garuder off the line, and that ball will go through and in the back of the net. A goal for Midwest United FC. And John, you could see it developing in just a little bit of touch. Able to slide it past Garuder.
Well, that started with the giveaway out near the halfway line. Frankly, it allowed Midwest United, with City trying to move forward. Midwest United gets the giveaway at the halfway out line, a very good purposeful ball in on through, and it kind of went into that no man's land, and Marty Corby at the end of it. Here's the giveaway. There's the dispossession. Now you come back the other way. City on the wrong foot. A well-placed, purposeful ball through, and it's right into that no person's land where Garuder has to determine whether she's going to, stick or twist, come or try and make the save on the shot that'll come. She tries to come, and I told you earlier that sometimes when keepers come off their line, they look foolish if they can't get there in time, but it's what they have to do. She felt she had to make the play. She comes out, and it becomes an easy poke over for Corby, and it's 3-1 Midwest United.
So Corby gets the goal.
How does City respond here?
That is the question.
They've not, frankly, Neil, there have been some players that have been running tonight for City, and a lot of them deserve credit, but there have also been times when City's been a step slow. And they need to pick that speed up. They need to find that second win they found late in Friday's match that allowed them to force and press and get the giveaway that gave them the win over Lansing United. I believe they have it in them. They just have to do what Sam Perroni wants them to do and be more purposeful on the ball. And
Curry makes another run. Garuder able to pop that one up in the air away from her.
Kelsey McLafferty, a nice closing run, too, to get right kind of up in Curry's grill.
Some substitutions coming in for Midwest United FC at the next opportunity. Kema Matri will come back into the match. Among others, Stancato gives chase. That ball blocked and deflected wide of the frame.
That was almost a very unlucky deflection.
Right.
Because Garuder was in perfect position to make the save on where the shot should have gone, and all of a sudden it changes direction and thankfully finishes wide of the post.
Corner coming up. Curry lets it fly. It's loose inside the 18. Around and cleared off the line. City in trouble again. That shot is poked wide. Midwest United FC doing everything except finding the back of the net off that corner.
Well, a nice job by Stancato to put a boot in front and deflect that away, but Midwest United just a step faster toward the ball here in the second half, finding the ball in space.
Corner service sent back in. That ball's loose. Stepping up, the shot off the side of the post. Can't tell if it was off the post or Garuder made the stop, but either way, it was kept out of the net.
Well, the answer, Neil, was both. Garuder made the stop onto the post, and Garuder in a bit of a shooting gallery right now. And made a couple of good saves down low.
We move towards the 79th minute. This 9 minutes of the match presented by Tullamore Do. After the match, check out the Tullamore Do shot of the match.
That's a nice turn by Singstock.
Singstock called for the foul. How about that work from Isabel Gilmore? Out of DeWitt High School, as you were talking about before, committed to Bowling Green.
Midwest United really in tune. You know, you and I talked about on Friday when they were leading 9-0 against Livonia City. We said they were a side that looked really cohesive, and they've been really cohesive tonight. So much so that they've forced City into making mistakes that we did not see them make on Friday. But again, I think it's important to note they're the more mature club in terms of development, and this is something that Sam Pirani is looking to build. All of these players for Midwest United have been down that road before, and a lot of them out of the Grand Rapids area. So they've been around Midwest United for a lot of their playing careers. So there are different stages of development that you really need to take into account with some of this. And it's something that City, as they go through this, will use as a learning experience, and Sam Pirani will use as we get ready for 2021.
We are in the 80th minute. Neil Rule, John Krieger, Daniela Bruce, our sideline reporter. Happy to have you with us.
Look at Sid Bloomquist just win that ball immediately, the head straight up. And a giveaway there, but I continue to be impressed with her play and her intensity start to finish.
And that ball will trickle across the line. As we move into the 81st minute, some substitutions for Detroit City. Kennedy Hyde will come in. Jocelyn Gott comes back in. Sarah Hugie also returns to the match. Of course, it was her efforts that led to the goal that at the time leveled the match at 1 for Detroit City FC. These two teams have squared off against each other. This is the second time in a week that they've played.
And so you learn your opponent a little bit. I don't think City have been as tired as Sam Pirani said they were last week in tonight's match. I just think that Midwest United has been quicker on the ball, that one step faster. The ball over the top that led to the second goal was unfortunate.
That's the play that Midwest United FC has done all night long, the defensive recovery. After DCFC gains possession, they've had trouble building up because Midwest United FC, as you've talked about, have been so quick to the ball, so quick to recover.
Close it right down. And man, by the way, as one player is going to close it down, Neil, two others are getting near her to give her options to pass the ball away.
Right.
And take it out of pressure.
Maya Dean turns with it.
It's like a vice grip. Just get in there and close it out.
Kovacs will earn a corner. As Mia Romeo played that one over the line. Lots of contact as Romeo went down to the turf. And there is Mia Romeo, the Trinidad and Tobago national team player. Played in 4 matches, including the CONCACAF Olympic qualifiers.
Which, by the way, is no slouch, that tournament. Now we're about, I would say, well, we're 8 minutes away from the end of the 90 and probably 5 to 6 minutes of stoppage time because of the injuries. And the priorities are going to shift here because Midwest United can begin to protect that 2-goal lead. They're going to start taking some time. You're going to start seeing, indecision over who's going to take throw-ins and inspections of the ball.
Who's going to take corners.
Everything else, yeah.
But, hey, I mean, fair play. That's your share in the game.
Sure. It's gamesmanship, but it's legal in things. And, and now they can run out the clock. It's City that's got to press. They've got to press harder than they have for most of the second half.
That ball just out of the reach of Kennedy Hyde as she made her run. A couple more subs for DCFC. Caroline Fleming will come back in, as will Kenna White. As as we cut into the 84th minute.
I'd like to see Kenna White coming out there for the last sprint here. You know she's going to give everything she has. Gave everything she had on Friday night. Scored the winner. So you like to see her out there for the stretch run.
Can City mount the challenge? That ball thrown out into space. Caroline Fleming, can she track it down? She does. Her cross just out of the reach of Kenna White, but nearly a bolt of lightning for Detroit City FC.
And I'll tell you what, Kenna White, I told you she was going to run. And
she did.
Guess who did not stop making her run, and the ball just not there, but she was ready to head it home.
That ball comes to the middle. Maya Dean.
And there's really only one thing Sam Perroni can ask of his team for the next, say, 11 minutes. Run. Leave nothing out there. Run, take a chance, work the body, make good passes. At this point, yeah, of course you want to try to get back in and win, but you also want to know that you left everything out there and you tried your best to play the system I want you to play.
Corner driven and headed over top of the frame. I believe that was Reagan Dalton. Was it, or was that Marty Corby that was the target? May have been Corby.
Interesting quick play out here. Look out.
Ball sent wide to Kovacs. Kovacs wins a corner.
Nice job, though, by Mia Romeo to not let Kovacs cut inside her. She had a lot of space if she'd gotten around Romeo. And a nice job. Yes, you concede the corner, but you also don't concede a walk-in on your keeper. And between the two, I'll take the corner all day.
That's veteran experience.
Yep.
That's a national team player who just keeps going to the well because the well works. Corner sent in over top. And that will scoot all the way across the touchline. So we go into the 86th minute. That ball will be awarded to Midwest United FC. We're coming down the stretch of the Keyworth Showcase Championship match on our Watch City stream, brought to you by Stroh's.
And you can see Midwest United perfectly happy to seed things back there. They're fine with this ball floating around midfield for the next 10 minutes. That was 1 foot away from being a really good ball out wide for Fleming.
And the handball called. Ellie Otto out there on the pitch. We're talking about her earlier on, another part of the super talent that this Midwest United FC side has, and there is Ellie Otto, committed to Mississippi State of the SEC.
Think about that. Committed to. That means that's a high school player out there.
Right.
Playing really well.
Kenna White turns, has some space, threads it ahead. Hyde on the move, coming off the line and making the grab is Maya Perez.
1 yard, and that's 3-2. Wow. Nice counter by City. A good ball out wide. And if that doesn't run, if that checks up about a yard sooner, that's chipped over the keeper and it's 3-2. That's the kind of play Sam Perroni wants to see. A nice break and good chance.
Speaking of committed, Kennedy Hyde committed to Siena Heights. So another high schooler out there.
And playing well. Again, look at that. City asking the questions. Continuing to press forward. They brought the wing backs up. But again, the close on the ball from Midwest United, and they turn in possession. But City forces the turnover.
Mission accomplished. Romeo with the throw-in. Just over top of everyone. Romeo will do it again. That comes wide along the left touchline.
They're going to be a United thrower. They're going to give that to City.
Kenna White, in the interest of time, is
Helping the ball along. Is that okay? How about we get it back to action, shall we? Thank you.
Time certainly the most valuable commodity now for Detroit City FC, as Smokey the Robot has been activated across the way of the Northern Guard section.
Final 5 minutes. Haven't had a whole lot of opportunities to pop smoke today, but like to see the Keyworth tradition staying alive and the process that went into building that robot.
Well, Smokey the Robot has some dreamy eyes.
Smokey the Robot has some eyes that will look through you, man. If that's your kind of a dream, I don't know what nightmare you live in.
Just dreamy. He's a handsome fellow. Look at that. That's a handsome fellow right there.
Is that a cigar in Smokey's mouth?
Yeah, why? What's the problem?
No, I just respect.
Yeah.
That's a fairly large stogie.
Smoke doesn't bother him.
That's true.
Restart coming up now for Midwest United FC. 90th minute. Now the ball sent in. What a stop made of the Michaela Kovacs header. Garuder up to the challenge.
Wow. Took every bit of her frame to palm that over the bar, and the jump had to be timed perfectly. This is great positioning by the City keeper. Great chip in, the header on, and she got the hands up, and if she puts one hand on that ball, it's in the back of the net. Timed it with two hands perfectly.
Corner served back in. That's touchdown frame, and Garuder will make the grab.
Now play it out.
And she does. Bangs it up towards the middle of the pitch. Hugie was the target. Did not connect. Maya Dean with it. Gilmore will send it back.
I like that pressure. You know what? You might be down 2 goals, but just force them to make a mistake. And they do.
Quick throw in for Romeo.
Now Hugie, look at that run, and her fight forces another conceded throw. I like the way City are finishing this day with spirit.
There's 4 minutes of stoppage time. We'll see if DCFC has any more magic that they used on Friday night. They get the late game winner. It's going to take a huge effort.
Nice takeaway there.
Here's Kenna White. Threads it through. The turn was a little heavy from Sydney Smith.
Turn and AstroTurf, and that runs to the keeper. She might have had a little more space on that. On natural grass, might have checked up a bit for her. But she goes to turn. Good first move. And a nice ball through to her, but just a heavy touch, and it ran through easily.
Jocelyn Gott escorts that one over the touchline.
Well, credit where credit is due to Lewis Robinson. He said that his side were building up to this matchup. It's the match they wanted to win. They viewed last week as kind of the opening foray into things, but they were building up to this as the pinnacle of their season, the shortened season as it is. And they've come in here and played very well at Keyworth Stadium.
There's some pressure that results in a turnover. Amitri has it in the corner. It's touched away from her. She recovers. Wins the possession. Rowan coming up in the dying moments of this match. 3-1 Midwest United FC.
And now, did she just fall over and lay on the ball for a minute? All right. See, they need to get it forward. They'll get the throw, but they need more than throw-ins.
That ball moves through, but again, just out of the reach for Detroit City FC.
And again, very good positioning by Midwest United. That ball runs past Hugie, and there's a Midwest United player just waiting there to close it down. Great positioning by them all day.
Garuder directing the traffic. Kovacs. As that played over the line. Throw in coming up. Otto tosses it in. The official looks towards his watch. And the final whistle sounds. And Midwest United FC victorious in the Keyworth Showcase as they beat Detroit City FC by the score of 3-1. So we will take our post-match break, come back and wrap this all up for you. Midwest United FC with the win. We'll be right back with more. This is the Watch City Stream brought to you by Stroh's.
The Chevy Trax from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers has a sporty, compact design that makes it the perfect SUV for everywhere you like to roll. Lease a 2020 Trax LT front-wheel drive for just $222 a month. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. The Chevy Traverse from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers fits your life with room to grow. Lease a 2020 Traverse LT front-wheel drive for just $279 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Football is a big deal in this house. So when Maurice was injured, we immediately thought the worst. To see my baby lose his joy hurt.
The DMC, Rehabilitation Institute of Michigan, is here to help athletes get back in the game.
They're like family. It was a long road, but we made it back.
DMC, Rehabilitation Institute of Michigan, a community built on care.
DTE's natural gas is a lot more than just an energy source. It perks up your mornings and eases you into relaxed evenings. It works both hard and smart. It can help heal the body and transport the mind. And at the end of the day, cleaner, safe, affordable natural gas is there to do more than just dry your clothes. It's a warm hug waiting to happen. DTE.
Imaginary lines that lie between us, it's just lies. You see us beyond races and classes. One day we'll all dance and raise glasses. See, we are one. This doesn't have to be a zero-sum game where some lose and some gain. Time, space, distance, it's all relative. Think about it, we're all relatives. No time to build walls. We got bridges to mend. And that's the beauty of us, the beauty of blend.
Three to 1, Midwest United FC with the victory over DCFC. They are the Keyworth Showcase champions. The match was as advertised here, though. Very entertaining affair, went back and forth. Now it's time for our post-match woman of the match for Detroit City FC, and that was number 15, Margaret Berry. And John, you know, we talked about her a lot during the broadcast, and you just love the way that she plays the game of soccer.
I'll tell you what, and I said it at the start, she plays with that little bit of nasty. She'll go in, she's not afraid to win those physical challenges. She's someone who can clean up the mess along the back line. She's someone who is really good in terms of directing a back line, and she's someone without whom a lot of teams would struggle, because she will go in there and win the rough physical plays. She's a deserved player of the match. Could have been worse for Detroit City FC today if it weren't for some really good plays along the back line by Margaret Berry.
Now it's time for our Tullamore Do shot of the match, and I think you guys know where we are going with this one, John.
Well, you take a look at it, and the play by Hugie shot in on frame and a tap in for Caroline Fleming. Fleming gets the goal, but I was really impressed by, first of all, Bloomquist ball into space, and then Hugie not to go down under the challenge, to fight through on the physical play. That hard work, the vision by Bloomquist, the pass and the shot there by Hugie, and then the tap in by Fleming, was a perfect finish.
Certainly was. Some memories created this weekend, though. Friday night was a lot of fun, but ultimately Midwest United FC, very seasoned side. They were the UWS national champions in 2017, and they will walk away with the hardware here this evening. But, I mean, John, very well deserved. They are a top-level side. They have tremendous talent.
You know, they knew what they wanted to do going in with this, Neil. They wanted to be able to close City down. They didn't want City to have space off the wings. They wanted to control midfield, and you said it throughout the course of the broadcast. Every time they were going in to try to put a challenge in on a City player, there were 2 or 3 other United players that came over to pick up the loose ball. They were really good in midfield and really good in attack. The ball over the top, lethal in the end. And, of course, Marty Corby and Stitch Curry, 2 great attackers up top. They're worthy winners and worthy champions of the Keyworth Showcase.
Fans, make sure you look out for the official match recap video. That'll be coming up online soon, presented by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Follow DCFC on Twitter and Facebook. Make sure you see it. You can also go to DebtCityFC.com. There is the final score line you see in the second half. Midwest United FC runs away from Detroit City FC, but a very entertaining weekend. And I mean, let's bottom line this, everyone. It was great for me. A lot of people on Twitter talked about it. It was great for them. Just to see soccer here at Keyworth again. It was a lot of fun, and a big thank you to everybody that helped make it go. Our production crew, our camera people, everybody spot on as well. A big thank you to John Krieger, Daniela Bruce, our sideline reporter, and also our entire production crew here with our Watch City stream brought to you by Stroh's. And one more time, my name is Neil Rule, Midwest United FC with the victory 3-1. Thank you for watching, everybody. Well, see you later.